Very religious guy. He would kind of fit I guess the tone of the Mormon takeover of the Republican Party, which apparently is happening right now.
Is that happening?
Yeah, that's apparently happening.
I didn't know that. Because Harry Reid is a Mormon and he's a Democrat.
Yeah, but he's a Democrat, so Democrats wouldn't take over. Just the Mormon Republicans would.
Oh, so the Mormon Democrats are fine.
Yeah, they're fine. They're not doing anything weird.
But the Mormon
Republicans are doing creepy, weird things.
Really?
Yeah, and we don't know what they are.
Oh man, that's
don't,
disturbing.
But we got to find out.
I hope every network can run a special or so.
They are.
So. They are.
That's the good thing.
Oh, good.
They are. NBC just ran one late last week. We haven't had a chance to talk about this yet, but Brian Williams had Abby Huntsman on, and Abby Huntsman is the daughter of John Huntsman Jr. And so they're doing this big special. What was it called? Mormon in America? Was that what it was? And it was an hour-long special. And here was a little snippet of it.
Why do you think those of us non-Mormons don't know more about the Mormon Church?
I don't think they've done a good enough job opening up. They've been very secretive, and it causes people to think of it as a mystery.
Really?
Abby Huntsman grew up in a family considered Mormon royalty.
Really?
She's a descendant of one of the 12 original Mormon apostles. Thank you all so very much. Her father, John Huntsman, former Utah governor, former U.S. ambassador to China, ran unsuccessfully for the GOP nomination.
Okay, look, I'm not a spokesman for the church. Obviously, I'm Mormon. But I'm not the church spokesman, and I think they're very happy about that.
Yes, I can guarantee you that.
But I have never heard the Huntsman family or anyone ever referred to as Mormon royalty.
No?
They're not considered Mormon royalty. No one's considered, to my knowledge, royalty of the church.
Well, does that just mean, is he using
I've never
that
heard the term.
Slang essally for very prominent
I
family?
guess, but
They are a prominent family.
They are prominent, of course. I mean, John Sr. is a billionaire. Extremely prominent, extremely well respected.
Yeah, great guy. John Jr. was the governor of Utah. Obviously,
governor of Utah. Yeah, everybody knows
president.
him. Mm-hmm. But different than his dad.
Yeah,
but in many ways.
Sure.
And his family is, his daughter isn't even active in the church.
And they talk about that in the special.
Right. And so here's a little bit more about what she had to say.
It's very black and white still. There's no gray area. You either live by the Mormon doctrine or you do not.
Okay, so get that again. Here's one of the problems with the church.
It's very black and white still. There's no gray area.
No gray.
You either live by the Mormon doctrine or you do not.
And that's really weird because God is such a gray area person. He's I don't really want to make a comment on whether adultery is right or wrong.
Right. Well, that comes from the Ten Commandments, where he says, "Thou shalt not," or "Thou shall commit adultery."
Yeah,
that's how he was originally worded.
He's like, if you're really in the mood, and so is she, go ahead.
Right. I mean,
if you're both drunk. I mean, there's some gray area there.
Circumstances at times would dictate. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't know Abby Huntsman. I don't know John Jr. I know John Sr. Fantastic man. I respect him more than just about anybody else on the planet. But what a stupid thing to say.
Well, it's not a commentary on necessarily her.
It's not. It's just
Mormonism. I think that's a general faith commentary because I think every faith goes through that, where there's this idea that you need to be more lenient with your rules to open up the tent. And you can make that argument, even though I disagree with it when it comes to politics. You could say, well, we should not support this policy so we can get more people to do it. I believe in principles, and I don't think that's the way to do it. But a lot of people do make that argument. With faith, it makes no sense to me.
None.
That's not, I mean, these are supposed to be rules passed down from the beginning of time.
And they don't change.
If you go to that point of bothering to believe in a faith, well, then that's what you believe. Why would you think that they would change with the times? Yes, they'll get email addresses. Yes, they can have a website where they put their sermons on the website. That's sort of changing for the times is one thing. But to change your principles, to change your tenets without any other reason other than public pressure is not what a church is supposed to do.
Cultural things change. Doctrinal things don't. Right? I mean,
that's fair.
The Ten Commandments don't change. They're the same today as they were when they were given to man. They don't change because it's now the year 2012 and we got to change with the times and there's gray area now. Right. Since when?
Yeah, the founders came up with the Constitution and then they allowed for a process for it to be amended because they thought there would be some things they got wrong. That's not what God does. He's not typically like, if I got this one wrong, you guys just change that later on, okay? You got that? Like, that's not how he works.
That's kind of why God is God.
Okay.
Yeah, because otherwise you're sort of not. The rest of us, for instance, aren't. So we do change. He doesn't, but there was more.
What about the fact that you and I right now could walk across Fifth Avenue into St. Patrick's Cathedral? No one would care or wonder what our religious affiliation is.
Yeah.
I can't get into the Mormon temple.
Oh, man, and he wants to so bad. Do you feel that? Are you feeling that?
It seems a little disingenuous.
Can't get into the Mormon temple.
He seems really broken up by it.
I want to so badly. Gosh, if I could just, it would really complete my life. If I could just get in to the Mormon temple. It's something I've wanted my whole life.
Brian seems very broken up about this.
I think about it all the time. I dream about it. I wake up in cold sweats at 3 a.m. Am I in the Mormon? I'm not in the Mormon temple.
Will that ever change?
I hope it does.
You hope it does?
But
okay.
What goes on in there?
I don't think that it will. Nothing crazy. It's very much a sacred thing for Mormons. And
yes, thank you.
Causes a lot of people to feel maybe not good enough. Why am I not allowed in there? So this idea of maybe being more accepting and moving with the times a little bit is much needed.
That's much needed. You don't dictate your church's doctrine, whether you agree with it or not. You don't dictate it based on someone's feelings. Nope. It's not a feelings-based thing.
It's either right or it's wrong.
Right.
As she said, it's not a gray area. It's black or white. With religion, I mean, isn't that what makes a religion strong and something you want to be a part of? It's black and white. There's not gray area. It's either right or it's wrong, especially when you're dealing with matters of faith and God. I mean, that is unbelievable. And why have they gone to this woman? You know, obviously she's very pretty. She has been Mormon in the past. I think she still is, but she's not active.
I don't think so. I think they said she left the church in this segment. I could be wrong on that, but I believe that's what they said.
She may have. Several members of this family have. But why do you go to a Mormon who's never been to the temple in this way and ask him about the temple? What are you doing? She wasn't married in the temple. She hasn't been there in the way he's talking about. Well, she hasn't been there. Why do you go to somebody who doesn't even know about it and start asking them questions about it?
I mean, no, I don't know what her past is. I mean, she was a member of the church for some period of time,
but she's not.
And this is the thing. I mean, I suppose it's the larger question is it's not necessarily bad for these questions to be answered. I think as Glenn has said a million times, Pat. I mean, Pat was Mormon long before Glenn was, and Glenn used to say all the same stuff that. Make fun of Pat about it in the same way because again he doesn't know anything about it. I mean that's not my job, and I'm not Mormon, but my job is not to know all the stuff about the Mormon Church. That's not my gig.
Right?
You're a Mormon, I'm not.
And do you really care?
No,
does it keep you up at night?
It does not.
I can't go to the temple.
I care about people. I care about for example, I know that and again I work with essentially every Mormon on the planet in this company. They almost all work here.
Yeah, every one of them.
all of them.
Royalty.
All 14 million people work here.
But again,
Mercury.
Pretty much. But again, if anything, over time, you see as someone who's not Mormon looking at Mormons for a long period of time, you realize that they're competent, that they're honest, that they're trustworthy. And again, these are all generalities. There's certainly exceptions to the rule. But if anything, it should be a positive. I would think when you're looking at this from a presidential perspective. Here's a guy who's most likely not going to be sleeping around, most likely not going to be drunk when he needs to figure out whether he needs to press the button or not.
Most likely.
Most likely those things aren't going to happen with a Mitt Romney. It's a positive to me. I want a guy who's boring. I want a guy, unlike several other presidents we've had in the past, who, Nixon pops into mind, among others, or JFK when he's hitting with Marilyn Monroe in some back room somewhere. I'd like a guy to be a little bit more focused on his job And if anything, I mean, I think the profile, the typical profile of the average Mormon lends itself to think that you'd be good at that sort of job, which is why Mitt Romney, I think, has been successful in business, why he's been good at managing people and managing large, controversial, difficult decisions over his life. Yeah. I mean, it's to act as if it's this scary thing, to me, is this bizarre approach that only the media could come up with.
And yet they're so good at it, and it's about to be amplified.
Oh, yeah.
To, I think, about the 100th power.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till next month and the month after. October is going to be Bash a Mormon month.
Oh, yeah. Get ready.
Get ready.
I have my Bash a Mormon tree. I've put that up.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Good. So you're getting prepared.
We're getting celebrated. The lights are going up outside on the trees, and it's going to be a wonderful celebration.